Alright guys, so I'm here with Snoot, my first ever snake that I've personally owned. And if you don't know already, she's a female Western Hognose snake. I got her from Jermaine Guy at Shovel Nose Hogs out of Cape Coral, Florida. And I have had her today for 100 days. This is my 100th day of owning her. So I wanted to give you guys just a little bit of an update. I know the unboxing video on my channel has been the most popular video that I've done, so people seem to really resonate with either Snoot or Western Hognoses or just unboxing videos. So this is a little bit of an update. Hopefully this helps you maybe decide to get one or not to get one if it doesn't seem right for you. But I'm just going to tell you how it's been for the first 100 days that I've owned her. So she was born on 7/11 of this year, 2022, and I got her on 8/3 of this year. I guess for my international friends, that is month 1st, day 2nd. So July 11th and August 3rd. Let's see, she was 23 days old when I got her, and she had already eaten several meals, frozen unthawed. Frozen unthawed. My dad's gonna hate that when he hears that. Frozen thawed pinkies. And so now she is 123 total days old, although I have had her for 100 days today. Isn't she great? Hopefully you can see her. See her well. I know you won't be able to pick this up, but she's just starting to, her skin is just starting to kind of flake a little bit. So I think she'll be shedding soon, but she has not shed yet. Save for her very first shed whenever she was born, of course. The snake shed right out of the egg. So except for that shed, she has not shed her first time. Let me see. When I got her, well, let me say it this way. She is now 27 centimeters long, and that's 10.5 inches approximately, and she's 22.8 grams. So she's gained 4.8 centimeters, or about 2 inches, since I got her the last 100 days. It's a 22% increase in length, and she's gained 11.6 grams, which is right over double. So it's a 104% increase in weight. And now I do want to mention that I'll show some graphics on the screen probably, but she went through a 1-month hunger strike for a while. And I'll talk about that just in a minute, but she didn't eat for 30 days between, let's see, do I have the dates on here? Yeah, she didn't eat between 8/18 to 9/18, August 18th to September 18th. And so keep in mind that over those 100 days, there was 30 days there where she didn't eat at all. But she still gained double her weight, and she looks very, very healthy. So I had to do some things to change up her eating to make sure that she's eating properly. She was feeding on unscented, she was feeding on unscented frozen thawed pinkies when I got her. She's currently eating frozen thawed pinkies that I sent with silver sides, this little frozen fish that I get from an aquarius down the road. They were kind of hard to find at PetSmart and Petco, and I don't have another local pet shop, like general pet shop, but I do have several aquarists in the area. So I managed to find some silver sides from them, and that's what she's been eating. I have also had to change how I feed her. So during that hunger strike, I tried all kinds of, and I say hunger strike, it's only 30 days, but it was my first snake. I mean, it still is my first snake, and it was, kind of a scary time after a while, after several weeks of her not eating. But realistically, they can go a long time without eating, so it was fine. But anyway, during that, I tried scenting with tuna, with salmon, did I try chicken parts? Oh, no, it was recommended that I try chicken parts, but I'm not sure. Some people do chicken breasts, some people do like livers and stuff like that. I don't think I tried chicken. I tried putting her in a smaller enclosure so that she had kind of more contact with the food. I tried turning off the lights so that she felt like she could hunt the food a little bit better. Tried all kind of different things. What wound up working was the silver side, so I take just a small piece of the fish and the frozen thawed pinky. And I keep saying frozen thawed pinky. At this time, they won't be thawed the frozen fish and the frozen pinky in a bag together, and I thawed them together. And then what wound up getting her to eat was just to put both of them in her enclosure next to each other on like a little rock that I have that keeps it off of the substrate. And she wound up eating. I think she wound up eating the fish first, and then she ate the pinky right afterwards. Since then, I've been doing the same method, but she has not eaten the fish anymore. So I've stopped giving her the fish. I still scent with the fish, but I don't actually give her the fish anymore. Because she hasn't eaten it several times in a row. The other thing is, I used to feed her off the tongs. She ate 4 times in a row as soon as I got her, off the tongs, unscented. And now she does not eat that way. She does not like it when I present food to her on the tongs. She huffs at it and she gets all scared, and then once she huffs at it, it's pretty much no-go that she's going to eat no matter what I do. So now I have to kind of show her, like let her know that it's in there with her. I put it on the rock, I cover it up with I move her enclosure so it's kind of hidden, and then I either move her or I make sure that she knows where it is. And then now she tends to go in there after a little, and I leave her alone. That's another thing too. I have to leave the room. And once I leave the room, come back and check on her 10, 15 minutes later, she's got it halfway down her throat. So that seems to be what works for now. I am trying to kind of gently move back to a situation where I can just go in there and feed her out of tongs, just unscented. But this isn't too much of a hassle if I have to keep doing this for a while, so that's fine. Also, you may have watched on this channel, I made a target so I could start target training her. And that's not for the reason that other people target train their animals. A lot of times you target train an animal that might have a hunger response, feeding response, and accidentally bite you instead when you're not trying to feed them. So you target train them to let them know, hey, this is when I'm feeding you, this is when I'm not feeding you. That's not really a concern with these hognose snakes. Hognose snakes. So, but the reason I wanted to do it was just to stimulate the feeding response itself. Was just to say, hey, look at this thing. Aren't you hungry now? It's kind of the same way when people see the golden arches or people smell grilled food, they suddenly get hungry. So kind of for that reason. And also it's good practice if I ever do get an animal where I need to target train it. I'll already have experience target training. Having said all of that, at the same time I built that target, she has gotten more of a picky eater. So to not increase, or rather to not add another wrinkle to the whole thing, to not add another element or another variable to it, I have not done the target training with her, just because I wanted to kind of eliminate that as a variable, as maybe the reason that she's not eating is because she's afraid of this other item. But once she gets back onto a kind of a steady diet, I'll try to go back to that. Or maybe I won't. We'll see. Let's see. Oh, her feeding frequency. I have notes over here if you're wondering why I'm looking off to the side. So she's eaten 11 times for me, which if I remember Jermaine's notes correctly, that means that she's eaten 15 times total. She's eaten 11 times over the last 100 days, so that comes out to once every 9 days. But you have to consider again that there was a month there where she didn't actually eat, so the feeding frequency is closer to like a week, once every week on average. I try to feed her once every 5 to 7 days. It seems to come out to about once every 7 days that she actually eats. But I present to her about every 5 to 7 days. So what has changed in my husbandry so far in the last year? Not so much. She seems pretty happy with her environment. I've just got her on Aspen right now. I am going to be switching to Aspen chips instead of the Aspen shavings. If you watched my interview with Jermaine from, I don't know, last week, he mentioned switching over, and once I get through this bag of Aspen, I'll probably switch over myself. But right now she's on Aspen shavings, and I don't have to do anything with the humidity. I don't mist or anything like that. Her water bowl provides enough humidity, which stays in like the 40s and 50s kind of percent, which is fine for this species, so that's fine. I keep her hot side at like 89, 88, 89 with bottom with belly heat, and then the cool side comes down to closer to room temperature. I think it's like high 70s, mid 70s. So that's kind of the thermal gradient. She's got plenty of space in her little enclosure. She's not in tubs. She's in a glass enclosure. If you watch the unboxing video, you'll see what I have her in. And I have it on LED lights that are mimicking, it's on a timer to mimic the day-night cycle. I also keep she's in my room, so I keep the windows in my room open as well, so she gets a little bit of the natural daylight as well. I do not have any UVB in there. I know it's recommended. Sometimes, some people, it's kind of hot debated. Everything I've seen that they don't need it, they would benefit from it if they had it, but they don't need it. But I'm not doing it, not for her. So that's that. Her behavior, she has been completely docile ever since I got her, and continues to be so. Every now and then, in fact, when I got her out of the cage today, I keep calling it the cage, her enclosure today, she has like a kind of cursory little huff that she does, as if to say, hey, leave me alone. And then I pick her up and she's like, I'm fine. So, nothing real startling. She never bluff strikes, not at me. She might hiss a little bit or kind of like move, like, but it's not a real proper bluff strike. I'd never see her open her mouth, period. Obviously, except for to eat. Does not open her mouth. Does not show really any signs of aggression. We really shouldn't be using the word aggression anyway. I know a lot of people don't like that word, but defensive behavior, aggression, whatever you want to say, the point is it's nothing that would scare you or a small child. In fact, speaking of small children, I have a 6-year-old daughter who you'll see occasionally on this channel. And she absolutely loves snakes. So does my wife, and so does my dad, who lives with us as well. Everybody I know loves Snoot, and whenever they come over, they all want to handle her. And she's just an absolute doll. She's just perfectly chill. She'll sit in my hand like this I don't try to keep her out too much, but she'll sit in, 15, 20 minutes, and I put her back. I try to every day where she's not eating, or where she hasn't just had a meal, I try to take her out at least once a day. I try for twice a day to desensitize her. She's also not head shy. I'm not going to go poke her in the face right now, but you could. You poke her right in the nose, and she's fine with that. She's not head shy at all. I have taken her out once, out of the house. Well, that's not true. I've taken her out of the house several times, like here in my backyard, walking up and down my road. But it turns on a trip, I put her in a little sack and took her to the school where I teach music and let some of the children there play with her. And that's always such a fun experience, to see children or anybody. The mom was more scared than the children was, but the point was they saw the snake and were very trepidatious. But the second they held her or touched her at all, they couldn't get their hands off her. They were all asking to switch back and forth with her. So she was a very good ambassador for that. Very well behaved. And I think she converted some people into liking snakes. I really hope you guys can see this. I hope this isn't a horrible shot. Let's see. Okay, her effect on me. Well, I love her. I knew I would. I did a lot of research before I got her. And I'm glad I did. But there's no doubt that this was just the right animal for me. Absolutely love her. Perfect pet for me. Hey, wrap around my thumb like you have in the thumbnail from the last video so you can see the size difference. Oh, you don't want to? Fine. I check on her every morning. She's in my room. So I check on her every morning when I wake up. Sometimes she'll be climbing around her enclosure. When I do, I always look in and say good morning and talk to her like an idiot. I know pet lovers out there know exactly what I'm talking about. Go into my baby voice and start talking to her and everything else. And I started to notice, like, sometimes she'll just poke her head out of the aspen, and I can just see her little head sticking up. I love that. Sometimes she's gotten to where she'll climb on top of her hide, which I think is very funny. She was doing that this morning, actually. And then she does what I'm sure a lot of people call periscoping, but we call it periscoping. Well, she'll just, like, hop up, and then she'll try to, like, climb towards the top of her enclosure, and then fall over, and then she'll climb around, do it some other time. I'm going to get more enrichment in her enclosure. I've been meaning to do that. I just need to get a good cool shaped like sticks and stuff like that for her to climb on. Another fossorial species, and she does spend the majority of her time under the aspen, under the ground, in her like little tunnels. But she does like to climb, and I can tell from her behavior, she will climb. If I put some stuff in there for her to climb on, she will. Again, she climbs on her enclosures, on her hides all the time. So she will climb just for fun, or just to, I don't know, hunt or something. She's made me want probably 1 billion snakes. So way to go, Snoot. You've cost me a lot of money already, or in the future. Her herself has been pretty cheap, but I can tell this is going to be an expensive hobby over time. Because yeah, as soon as you get one, I think you want, it's like a tattoo, I suppose. Once you get one, you're going to want another, and then another, and then another. I do have plans to buy 2 more from a gentleman that I'm speaking to. He's at a reptile expo in Tampa this weekend. I have a friend who's going to go there and talk to him so he can meet the snakes in person and stuff. But I have a, she's 100% het albino. She's normal, 100% het albino. I should mention that for anybody interested. I have a sable het albino male and a albino het sable female that I'm looking to buy, who should be ready to breed 2024. So if you're watching this in the future, that'll be 1 year from now, a little over a year from now. And so maybe by that time I'll be ready to start breeding, and those two together should make sunbursts, a 25% chance of making sunbursts. And so that'll be fun. So I have kind of breeding projects in the future that I'm looking at. And then also because she is het albino, I could cross them and get some albinos out of her, get some albino het sables and stuff. So that'd be fun. I might do that in the future, but she's got a while before she's breeding age. So, I know another thing that having the snake in particular has done for me is just become a lot more compassionate towards animals in general. I don't think it's fair to say that I was like antagonistic towards animals, but I don't know. I mean, a lot of people would not be cool with the snake climbing on their arm, like there is right now, and just to have 100% faith in it, have 100% confidence, but I do. And in fact, went to the park yesterday. If you watch my channel, there's a short that I uploaded yesterday of my daughter. We found a garter snake. I was walking laps at the park. My daughter was playing at the playground with some children, and we found a little baby garter snake. And without hesitation, my daughter reached over and picked it up and started playing with it, and held on to that snake for the whole rest of the time that we were there, and showed off all the kids. And again, it was that same story of all the kids were like, "Is that a real snake? I can't believe you're holding a snake." And then 5 minutes later, they were all holding the snake. So, I mean, they're kind of magical creatures in that, or they turn fear into love really fast, and that's a beautiful thing. So I've become a lot more compassionate with animals in general, and nature in general. So she's had a really positive effect on me, I think. I've already talked about my breeding plans, and I've already talked about how I want more of these guys. I don't know how much more there is to say. It's been a great 100 days. I'm looking to the rest of the year. I might do a 1-year update. She's grown quite a lot. And no, I just love her to death. She seems to be really popular on the channel too, so I'm going to try to get more videos of her. But I don't know how much, what can you really show about one snake? She just hangs out in her enclosure all day. So, but I love her. I think she wants to get down. She's kind of trying to climb down my arm. But she's precious and I love her. You might see that I have a cheesy shirt on called The Hog Father. It's a parody shirt, of course, for the copyright owner of the Godfather logo. If anybody wants one of these, I have links in the description to my side business. It won't be listed there, but if you send me you'll find my contact information. Send me an email. I can make you a Hog Father shirt if you guys are interested. So, alright guys, that's about all I can say. If you have any questions about her or anything else that I mentioned in this video, put it down there. I answer every single question, and I answer them in detail as well, so I love talking about it. But you guys have been great. I appreciate all the support, and I guess I'll see you guys next time. Oh, alright, you want to go inside? You want to get down. Later, guys.